Hey there, it's Sam. I'm here at the lovely Shivananda Ashram in Grass Valley, California, where I'll be speaking on the New Year's Eve. And I just wanted to make a quick update before I got too busy to talk about the week ahead. We have the moon just entered Aries, and so we'll be starting that sort of new cycle. Aries is the beginning of the sidereal zodiac, so it's the beginning of a certain cycle, you might say, to just use a simple word. And it's where we begin anew, and from a place of individual power. Now, the moon just came out of Pisces, which is a place of surrender, letting go, making peace with life, and a sort of mystical communion that we have with all of the cosmos. At least that's the intention, is to have that mystical communion. And we feel that in Pisces, so it was just a couple days of letting go. And on Monday, around the middle of the day, Monday, the moon went into Aries, which is about asserting our individuality. It's like being born, like a screaming baby being born is very much Aries, right? Coming into the world full of blood, and this is me, I'm an individual, and that sort of thing. So this will be happening for the next couple of days, and then the moon goes into Taurus later in the week, Thursday, Friday. But I wanted to talk about a few other things that are happening. We had that huge solstice new moon event on December 21st, which was, about a week ago. And as I said then, and as I'm going to continue to say, that was the beginning of a huge cycle, because two major influences came together, and they were both about letting go of things that are not serving you, and hopefully replacing them and planting the seeds of truth in your life instead. Hey, kitty. Meow. You hear the little cat over there? Look, it's a kitty. Anyway, so planting those seeds of truth were very important on the solstice. Not just the solstice, but what the solstice represents, which is the beginning of the northern course. So planting seeds of good karma, letting go of darkness and your compliance with it. That's barely a week old at this point. So we're not going to just jump to the next thing. This is still really happening because it's also part of the Sagittarius cycle. And the moon this week is moving toward that full moon point, which is the midway point of that process. So on the solstice, we also started that cycle of Sagittarius, which is about hope, optimism, teaching, and we're going to have that full moon in Gemini happen over the weekend. I'll talk more about the full moon later, but this week the moon is moving toward that Aries, Taurus, and then it will be full in Gemini. So I'm checking in with you about how much you've been planting and rooting and planting the seeds of truth, the things you want to grow, and uprooting the BS. And I mean uprooting the BS. What are you trying to change about your life so that the new you can actually take root? That's what's happening. And as I also said at the time, the solstice is really like the actual New Year. We're celebrating the New Year's here because it's related to the Gregorian calendar, but the beginning of the Northern Course is really the New Year, and it's the reason why we celebrate the New Year around this time, because that's the thing that's new, that's the thing that's revered and honored in all traditions. This is why we celebrate solstice or some version of the solstice in all traditions. So, this is big stuff this week. In addition, we have Mars is at its highest exaltation point, so it's a great chance for you to really put into practice what you say you want to install in your life, because Mars is the planet that allows us to walk the talk and allows us to be disciplined about those things we want to grow in our life, rather than just say, I want this thing, and then get frustrated because we don't have it, or frustrated because everyone in our life has their own agenda, and then we get mad at them and say how wrong they are, but they're not wrong, they're just doing their own thing. You're the one who's responsible for holding your own line of integrity. If you're being disrespected, it's because you allow yourself to be disrespected. And if you want something different, you have to do differently. But it might require breaking connection of some sort, or reestablishing a paradigm of truth that you must be willing to defend and integrate and install. So not only is Mars at its highest exaltation, but it's aspecting Jupiter, who is retrograde in his sign of exaltation. I hesitate to call Jupiter in Cancer exalted still, because it's so far away from the exaltation degree, but it is in its exalted sign. So Mars aspecting Jupiter in itself is a great opportunity to put into practice, Mars, what you believe. Jupiter. Mars, Jupiter is very good for walking the talk. Putting into practice, Mars, what you believe in, Jupiter. You can't draw it up any more clearly than that. And especially with an exalted Mars, which is actually making you restless and nervous and angry if you're not doing it. And this is what exalted planets do. Or planets that are in high dignity in their own sign or exalted. They have a high standard. They say, where is this thing? And if it's not there, we get frustrated. Unfortunately, then we may tend to take that out on others rather than embody it ourselves. So now's the time to really embody and walk the talk. The other thing that recently changed is Venus moved from Sagittarius into Capricorn, where it's joined Mars. Very, very wide orb, but Venus in Capricorn now will be much more integrated, actually, because Venus in Sagittarius is quite inspired, but it can also have some disappointment issues and unrealistic standards, especially for other people and romantic partners and things like that, because Venus is related to earth and air more than anything else, at least psychologically, and Capricorn is an earth sign, so you may really find that your beloved others, your beloved relationship partners and others that you care about and love will bring much more peace and comfort and stability now, rather than disappointment. Because this is the transition from Sagittarius to Capricorn. I just have a thought. I almost leaned on this rail and I realized I would have taken a tumble backwards. That would have looked really good on the video because I stepped up on a platform. Look at this nice little brook here. That's a nice Venus in Capricorn moment, huh? Venus in Capricorn has a lot to do with the beauty of nature. And that's why I'm so compelled by the beauty of the surroundings right now, the cat and the brook, because, you know, I'm a city boy. San Francisco's a beautiful city, but it's really nice to hear cats and little babbling brooks. So Venus in Capricorn for the next few weeks, it's a great time to get out and enjoy nature and to also really introspect about your relationships and partners and people in your life. So that is also a shift that just happened. And this Venus in Capricorn is going to be moving up to an aspect with Jupiter later as well. But the main themes of this week have to do with the moon going through Aries and then Taurus. It's basically Aries Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Taurus like Thursday, Friday, and then we have the full moon over the weekend, which I'll talk about when it's in Gemini. And again, that's leading up to that full moon. So you're leading up to the halfway point in this Sagittarius cycle where you're installing and planting the seeds of truth that give your life hope and meaning and purpose. It's not just, oh, this happened this day. It's a cycle, it's a huge cycle, and it's a huge time for you to really make positive change. And what's happening and what's helping you right now also is Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, is getting aspected by exalted Mars. Walk the talk, baby. So I hope this was helpful. Leave me some messages and share this as always. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate that you're in my community and that you're trying to make a difference and evolve higher consciousness just like me. Take care.